Has anybody been on a police driving skid pan course? Now, did they tell you, what's your name? Denise. Did they say to you, if you're ever in a real skid on a situation and there's a tree or a lamppost in your field of vision, don't look at it? Did they tell you that? You were too nervous to hear, weren't you? Yeah, okay. Now, the police tell me that they tell their pupils not to look at trees or lampposts if they're in a real skid. Why do they say that? Thank you. So, what you think about, I don't want to hit the tree, last thing I want to do is hit the tree, bang. Now, I know we don't have any other golfers other than Annabelle, but you probably know that novice golfers, if there's some water in front of the tee, they're thinking, I don't want to put the ball in the water. Where's the ball end up? Skiers tell me they're going down the piste and there's only one tree. Where do they end up? In the tree. So guys, I hope you know that the brain can't do a don't you? Will you all play the game? Will you close your eyes? I'll close mine. Never closed my eyes on film before, but here we go. Close your eyes, go on, just close them. Now, do not think about a dog chasing a cat. Okay, anybody get any cats or dogs in their head? You can't not think about stuff. Do you agree? And one of my favourites is, the jury will disregard the last remark. How do you do that? You can't do that. Have you ever said to one of your children, don't spill that drink, and then wondered why it went over? Now, the point is, guys, the brain can't entertain the reverse of an idea. You can't have negative goals. Who has children who might go in for an exam at some time? Any of you? Right, what's the dominant thought of too many children when they go in for an exam? I don't want to fail. Dominant thought is fail. When we work with young people, with children, with teachers and with parents, the dominant thought needs to be, I'm going in there to do my best. Not I'm going in there to pass, do you agree that's too much pressure? I'm going there to do my best. Do you think if most kids did their best, they'd probably pass anyway? So my challenge to you is, what kind of dominant thoughts are you having about your business? Are they looking over there at the goal, or are they looking down at the problems? I wonder. Because you move towards your dominant thought. That's not up for a vote, it's just the way it works. I'll express it in 3 other ways. You become what you think about most of the time. A young man said on one of my programs once, I think I'm turning into a woman then. I said, no, it doesn't work quite like that. Here's another way of expressing it. What you concentrate on, you bring into your life, don't you? What are you concentrating on a daily basis? Is it positive? Is it a brilliant business? Is it great relationships? Is it, I'm pretty good at public speaking, actually I'm getting better all the time? Or are you having negative dominant thoughts? Because guys, whichever you're having is predicting your future, isn't it? And the third way of expressing it is, thoughts objectify themselves, don't they? This carpet, do you agree, existed as a thought? The chairs existed as a thought. This entire marquee, do you agree, was a thought in somebody's head at some time? Are you with me? Everything in life is created twice. Once in your head and then once in reality. What are you creating in here now that you're going to be really excited 1, 2, 3, 5 years down the road? Or what are you creating that you're not going to be very pleased with? Because have you ever thought of worry as being negative goal setting? By the way, do any of you get upset by your own negative thoughts? Do any of us do that? Okay, well, a guy called Richard Jackson's written a great book that we recommend called Stop Thinking and Start Living. And he says, getting upset by your own negative thoughts makes about as much sense as writing yourself an offensive letter, then getting annoyed when you read it. I don't like it when you wrote it. No, I don't like it. No, you wrote it. Get over yourself. So could we stop having negative thoughts that we conjure up to then get upset by? How daft is that? So you move towards your dominant thought. Are you okay with that bit? So please question your dominant thoughts. You all drive. You're having them when you're driving. Do you agree? About your business, about the next meeting. And they need to be the kind of resourceful thoughts that steer you where you want to go. So let's try this. You're on the plank at 300 feet and something will happen any moment now. We'll probably have 2 things happen now. Okay, it will happen. You're on the plank at 300 feet, and it catches fire. Okay, would anybody reconsider going? Okay, what's your dominant thought now? Death. Don't want to die. And do you agree, if that caught fire, that would become more important than that? Okay, 95% of the population set goals when they have to, not when they could. In other words, 95% of the population respond to fear motivation, not desire. Now, given that everybody in here responds to desire, you're messing the statistics up for everybody else, aren't you? So I'm sure you're thinking most of the time about, wow, look what's over there for me. And dare I, would anybody do it for £1 million? That's not a lot these days. How about 10 million? Would anybody do it for £10 million? Put your hand up if you cross that plank of 300 feet for 10 million. Ooh, wow, this is the most reticent audience I've had in some years. Okay, you would do it for 10 million. What's your name? Sorry? Okay. Right, so there you are, over here, £10 million over there. And you think, over there is financial freedom for life. Look after my family, support, if you have one, support charities, travel around the world, car of my dreams, house of my choice, still run my business, maybe. But do you agree that would become exciting enough to take the cross? So my question to you is, what is it you have in your business that has you so excited that you're prepared to take the risks necessary to get over that plank? And do we agree having a business is risky? In other words, do you agree life is risky? I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not getting out of it alive. That's how risky life is. So why not make the most of it while you're here? Why not get on the edge? And I love the expression, if you're not living life on the edge, you're taking up too much room, aren't you? So get out there and take some risks, responsible risks, and do a risk-reward ratio and all that other stuff we should be doing. But please find out what it is over there you want. See if we can get something else here. Who has children? Okay. If you stood over there and one of your children was on the other side, there was no safety rail, and they were looking over the edge, might you just go? So then you find out what you truly value, don't you? By the way, would you do it for one of your neighbour's children at 300 feet? Would you do it for that annoying 9-year-old who keeps kicking their football at the side of your car, 6 doors down? Ooh. By the way, if you want to lose friends, get yourself an A4 piece of paper, draw this up, change the height, change the amount of money, or who's on the other end, and you have a very quick access to their values. People get quite upset because they learn that they wouldn't do it for the neighbour's child. Some people wouldn't even do it for their own children. I've had 1 or 2 of those over the years, but they admitted they'd do it for 10 million quid. Ooh, wow. So, find out what you truly value. Now, do you think it's important to have 5 to 10-year goals in your business and your personal life? Okay. If I asked you now to write down your 5 most important values in life, would you find it easy to do? Because do you agree, if we don't know what our values are, how the heck can we set goals? I have an expression, beware of the person you become in the pursuit of what you want. I've known too many people to pay too high a price for the fame, the yachts, the cars, the fortune, because they lost the true stuff they thought they valued, which was family, friends, health. So do you agree it's important to know what you value before you set your goals? I'm sure we're all doing that, aren't we? Writing down our 5 most important values, then prioritising them, aren't we? We have them written down, some we refer to them frequently, don't we? We have them dated, don't we? And they're specific, aren't they? And we spend at least 15 minutes a day visualising our already having achieved them, don't we? And we wake up in the morning and we read a card on which it says our goals and values, don't we? I'm losing nods now, aren't I? Do you think high achievers do this kind of stuff? Do you think Olympic athletes have their goals scattered around where they live? Wow. If we had more time, guys, we'd go into the specific stuff that could get you what you want using this thing here. And I have an expression, most people's brains run their lives. Very few people run their brains. And that's because of the 95% habit. Are you with me? The connection there. So I hope when you get up on a Monday morning, you tell your brain what you wanted to do, don't you? Specifically for that day, don't you? Tell your brain, speak to it, and it then does what you ask of it. It's mandated to do that. Most people don't do that. Most people's brains say, right, we'll get to work, and I appreciate you don't go to work. But in companies where we do lots of work with very large multinationals, people pitch up the work, think, right, I'll have a cup of coffee and a quick whinge. Then we'll do a couple of hours work, then we'll have another coffee, we'll have another little whinge. And the brain is telling them, do you agree, habitually what to do? Well, if you run your own business, do you agree you need to tell your brain what you want of it every day? Specifically. Written down, vividly visualized as already achieved. Personally, I, and in the present tense. So if you have a 10-year goal, you word it in the present tense, don't you? It is 2015. I'm celebrating having hit 2 million turnover in my business. I'm at whatever restaurant with a glass of champagne. In fact, I'm at Caister Hall with a glass of champagne in my hand. We're all doing this, aren't we? Because do you think high achievers do this kind of stuff? I spent 20 odd years talking to people who use this stuff to get what they want. Please, guys, take it seriously. I'm trying to pack as much of this as I can into a short time, so it doesn't seem to be stitched together too tightly. Please forgive me. Now, is it true that we should have an absolute focus on the goals that we want with an awareness of the problems which should turn up any moment. What frightens